Ready? Play.
And now here I go slice. And this is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
That's what I'm talking about. Coco Gauff, a U.S. Open champion. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Look at her. Look at her. Oh. Oh.
Get up, Coco Gauff. You've just won the U.S. Open.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. There are the mental side of tennis, from my perspective as a fan, if you like. The two things that strike me in tennis compared to lots of other sports that I think make it a big mental challenge is, first of all, it's an individual sport. But secondly, so there's nowhere to hide. Like in football, in a team sport, you can just give the ball to another, teammate, and you cannot call for it if you like. But there's nowhere to hide. The other thing as well in tennis is again in something like football, you can be really nervous, but you can get a bit lucky. And of course, that can be the case in tennis. But basically, your body could be shaking when you're about to take a penalty, okay? And you can still score because you can just put your foot through it, right? You just hit it as hard as you can. And actually, probably you will still score because of the odds on that.
Yeah.
But there's that in a sport such as darts, snooker, tennis, where you need to be pretty calm and you need to have a pretty steady hand. There's just nowhere to hide. Is there anything I'm missing, or am I underplaying something, or even overplaying?
No. I think you're 100% correct. I think the real tough thing about these sports and tennis in particular, because of how physical it is as well, is the relentlessness of point after point. And if you're nervous, you have to fight through those nerves sometimes for an hour. and they might disappear for a while, but then suddenly you're 5-all and it's tight again, and you're feeling very tight, and you have to manage it over and over again. And I think, the best players in the world just, use their tools and remember to use their tools in big moments. Because, once you get to pro level, it's not like any player doesn't kind of know what they have to do, but it's in the heat of that moment that they either don't remember because the brain is frying a little bit, or they don't have the courage to use them. Yeah. So, for us sitting there, I remember when Roger Federer had 2 match points against Novak at Wimbledon serving.
Yeah.
You're thinking serve and volley both.
Okay.
Yeah, probably Novak's not going to make a great return on both.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know whether what Roger was thinking, or maybe knew something more than I did, but that was my thinking. But he didn't, and they slipped through his hands. Now, to do that though in that moment takes a huge amount of courage.
Yeah.
And first to make the decision, and then secondly to follow through the decision like that. But then you've always got, and this is what's so tough for players, the other thing is, match point, make the person play. Don't serve and give them a quick volley or whatever. And that's another school of thought. But I think deep down, players get to a place where they have an instinct. And I think, I say this over and over again, the best players in the world are the most relaxed and the bravest. Because in those moments, when their instinct is telling them something, they are brave enough to follow it. And which is why, and again, it doesn't guarantee you're going to win, but I do think it starts to push the odds more in your favor. I'll just say one other thing is, I don't know if anybody's ever been go-karting or any kind of motor racing or watches motor racing, but when a driver gets in the groove, they lap like within 0.1 of a second every lap, like in this unbelievable groove. But if they lose that groove, when they're in that groove, it seems so easy. Just do it. It's like no hassle. But if they lose that groove, if they go a little too fast, then they slide out of a corner, they lose time. If they go a little too slow, then that's not effective. And the margins are so small to stay on that groove. And for players as well, when you go into something like the French Open or any tournament, but especially the big ones, you hope that you can get through that first match and find a groove. And if you get in that groove, then that gives you your best chances of winning, because then most stuff is happening.
Ready? Play.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Watch Along live stream here at Talking Tennis Towers. I'm happy to be with you. My name is Miles David. For those of you who aren't familiar with my face or my voice, I am a frequent flyer on the Talking Tennis platform here on YouTube. I've done some episodes on WTA Weekly, which I love, and I've also done some watch-alongs, which I love as well. So thanks, John, for opening up this platform for me once again. And today, we're going to have the pleasure of watching along in the second day of WTA Finals action. The first singles match of the day is featuring Iga Swiatek versus Marketa Vondrousova, which is a matchup of reigning Grand Slam champions this year. Iga Swiatek won the French Open and Marketa Vondrousova won Wimbledon. So we are at opening ball here in the second day of WTA Finals action in Cancun, Mexico. If you are watching and can hear me and can hear the sound of my voice, let me know where you're watching from in the chat. I always like to know where people are watching from, because tennis is so global. You can be watching the same thing from like 6 different time zones. So always find it interesting. We have some Germany. Yeah, Germany. Woo! Germany has quite a few tennis tournaments. I stumbled across realizing that in a Twitter space the other day. Like we were just in random conversation, as we often are on Twitter, and I realized there's a Stuttgart, there's a Hamburg, there's a Berlin, there's 2 Stuttgarts actually. Yeah, there's quite a bit. Australia as well. Australia has quite a few tennis tournaments, of course, and a slam. Paris, which is interesting. We're talking about Paris being a huge tournament, as well as the WTA Finals are in action this week. The Paris Indoor Masters for the ATP is in competition right now. Actually, if you're watching or viewing tennis on Tennis Channel, which a lot of people in the States do. I'm in the States. I'm in Louisiana, actually. And they're airing the Tommy Paul American versus Frenchman Richard Gasquet in Paris indoors right now. So technically, I'm not actually watching Swiatek and Vondrousova, so we're going to play it smooth, okay? until Tennis Channel flips over to Marketa Vondrousova. Sometimes they do a split screen, which I think is fun. But if I were pulling the strings at Tennis Channel, which, it'll be nice if I could actually do that, I would have the more premier event, which is the WTA Finals, shown on my main network, and then probably put Tommy Paul and Gasquet on the Tennis Channel Plus, like the additional on-demand streaming service. But I get that if you have Tennis Channel and you're in the States, Tommy Paul may be somebody you're rooting for more passionately than Swiatek and Vondrousova. I guess. Not me personally, but I can see the broadcasting decision from a certain angle. Well, while I have one eye on the Vondrousova and Swiatek score, and I have my other eye on the actual Tommy Paul and Gasquet match, while we wait for that to actually show on Tennis Channel, I'm wondering, who do you guys think is going to be the winner in Swiatek and Vondrousova? Neither of them, to my knowledge, have a remarkable record in Mexico that I can think of. And then Swiatek got to the semifinals in last year's WTA Finals when it was held in Fort Worth. And this is Vondrousova's WTA Finals debut. She's never qualified before, so I'm interested to see who you guys think is going to win that matchup between, like I said earlier, the Wimbledon champion and the French Open champion. Yes, Geektify, I do know you're in Dallas. Speaking of Dallas, I was just saying on Twitter, if you guys don't follow me already on Twitter, please do. You can follow me at Twitter at Tuned Into Tennis, or just type in Miles David Tennis, and you can probably see my tweets there. But I was just saying that I don't understand why the WTA couldn't go right back to Fort Worth, although it was a little bit of a mess last year because they didn't announce where it was going to be until a month prior, which they did in 2023 as well. It would be nice to see some consistency, because for the past 3 years, the WTA Finals have been held in 3 separate locations, and all of them have not been bad. Some of the competition level and the crowd turnout has been better, probably more in Guadalajara in 2021 than in Fort Worth in 2022. But I don't think it doesn't yell great organization from an elite association if you have to keep playing musical chairs with what city hosts your premier end of season event. I guess I don't think that's a great look, and it's been talked about ad nauseum. But this is what Talking Tennis is for. We talk through tennis on all different levels and spectrums. Looks like Vondrousova has held in the opening game and is 15-all on. Excuse me, I take that back. Vondrousova broke Swiatek's serve in the first game and is serving to try to consolidate that early, 15-all in the first set. Vondrousova and Swiatek have a head-to-head. Let's look into that. I don't think I knew that. And if they have the head-to-head, I did not know. I don't know what it is. Let's pull it up and see if I can talk about it. Make Australia British says, I actually prefer it to be in Fort Worth. They had it in Singapore, and that was hyped up every year, which is true. With the WTA now, they're just shoehorning it to some random city at the last minute. Yeah. Make Australia British again. I am in agreement with that. It definitely feels like it seems like a last minute priority, or they're just not organized and efficient enough to realize what they have on their hands and like the lead up it needs to feel important. I don't know. That's just what I think about it. It's unfortunate because I love women's tennis. I just do not love the association that they're competing under at the moment. It seems like they're very all over the place. As I was mentioning, Iga Swiatek and Marketa Vondrousova's head-to-head, it is to love Iga Swiatek right now. They met earlier this year in the summer lead up to the U.S. Open in Cincinnati. Swiatek beat Vondrousova 7-6, 6-1, and their prior meeting before that was way back in 2020, and the French Open when it was held in that awkward October slot. Swiatek beat Vondrousova en route to that to that title, which was her maiden Grand Slam, and kind of, you know, put her on the big screen or the big map as a really, really elite tennis player on the tour. It's interesting that Swiatek beat her way back in 2020, because Vondrousova was the reigning French Open runner-up in 2019. So there's a little bit of backstory between Marketa Vondrousova and Iga Swiatek on tour. Vondrousova is still in her opening service game, trying to consolidate that break, by the way. She has a game point to go up 2-love on Swiatek early. I can't wait until Tennis Channel actually switches over to the match, because I'm interested to see who looks the most comfortable in the conditions, given that they're playing outdoors when a lot of the tour has not really been on outdoor surfaces in the Asian swing, and they haven't had much time to practice on that court because it was finished like 4 or 5 days ago. So it'll be interesting to see who looks the most comfortable in that matchup. If you guys can't see across the bottom, make sure to follow me on Tuned Into Tennis. If we don't do a watch along for the follow-up match after Vondrousova and Swiatek, I will be hosting a live Twitter space for Coco Gauff and Ange Jabeur at around 7 p.m. Eastern, which is the match that follows Iga Swiatek and Vondrousova. So you guys follow on Twitter, and we can engage in the audio space, which is called Twitter Spaces. And we can talk about the match live. I try my best to moderate the rooms and make sure that everybody that joins gets a chance to, you know, talk about their previews and predictions for the match, or just kind of talk about whatever is on their mind in the terms of tennis. And yeah, it's a great open space for tennis fans to come and chat and have a ball. Think about it as if you were at a local bar or pub talking about tennis. That's how I like my Tuned Into Tennis spaces to go. I'm just reading some of you guys' comments here. Vondrousova did end up holding, by the way, to consolidate that break. So she's up early trying to get a win on the scoreboard in that head-to-head versus Swiatek. So could be a upset brewing, possibly. Death taxes and Richard Gasquet applying a new grip to his racket. Maybe that's why this match has gone on for so long. Because I thought for sure that Tommy Paul was going to nip it in the bud in the third set, but Richard Gasquet playing in front of his home crowd can be a tough task to put away. So, you know, especially at the end of the season, does it ever dawn on you guys? Sometimes it actually throws me for a loop, but does it ever dawn on you guys that the tennis players, and specifically the ATP players, because of how their schedule was set up, like they have like a couple more weeks to go until they even play their ATP finals, but you are preparing for the season ahead in the same season that you just finished. Like the 2024 tennis season is technically going to begin while it is still 2023 in Australia. Like that boggles my mind sometimes. The season, tennis just never stops. If you're an elite professional and like in the top 100, you could literally have opportunities to play all year round if you really wanted to. It's kind of insane. Swiatek has 2 game points, by the way, to get on the scoreboard and turn this into a match. It looks like Gasquet is churning for the upset here in Paris. He's up 5-3 in the deciding set tiebreaker over Tommy Paul, for those that are keeping up with that match. Yeah, Richard Gasquet has 3 match points now after finishing off a point at the net. If you're just joining, sorry that I'm giving you commentary on Richard Gasquet and Tommy Paul when you may have come here for the WTA Finals action between Swiatek and Vondrousova, but I'm currently at the mercy of what Tennis Channel here in the US is showing. So as soon as this match wraps up, I'm sure they're gonna swish us way over to Cancun, and I can give you some play-by-play action and talk about the conditions in Cancun and just strictly focus on women's tennis. I'm reading some of you guys' comments here. Looks like a good conversation is happening in the comments about the top 10 and the WTA, where the ratings are for the WTA as far as who's watching it. Yeah. I mean, we can stay right there with the topic of WTA ratings. I don't think they're doing themselves any favors at the current moment with not marketing things the way they could. I don't know. Some parts of me want to give the WTA a benefit of the doubt because I love women's tennis and it's been an organization that I've kept up with for half of my life at this point. But I also have to call a thing and realize that it just doesn't feel like it's in a good place right now. And the marketing of the top players, whether the top players are genuinely exciting or not, they deserve to be marketed because this is the space that you want to get to if you are a women tennis athlete. Like if you're an athlete that takes your sporting seriously and you want to turn a pro, the WTA is a league and an association and a tour that you want to be a part of. And after doing all of that hard work to get your name amongst the greats, I would imagine that they want some level of respect and elite organizing on that front, especially if you're giving away money every week and expecting people to travel from Tunisia to Mexico to Asia to Australia all in the span of a 10-month, 11-month season. Like there should be some better accommodations, better marketing, advertising, just a better run situation for the women that entertain us and love the sport and give us something to watch each week. So I hope to get it together. I really do, because it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like all of what I just said is a priority to them at the moment. It just feels like they're just, yeah, whatever. As long as we have, metal and sticks up to facilitate the competition like they threw together in Cancun, we have something to show. So, hey, hopefully it gets better. Totally agree that they should market them better than they do. Tennis is such an interesting sport, guys, because in a span of a couple of minutes, Gasquet has gone from 3 match points up to having now to defend a match point at 7-6 in the tiebreak. Tommy Paul serving with match point. Kind of rooting for him to end it here so we can get to women's tennis. Oh wow. There's a over the baseline match point challenge to see if Gasquet has lost. He wants to be absolutely certain that his ball was out before they give the match to Tommy Paul. And the ball was narrowly out. So Tommy Paul is through to the next round after saving 3 match points against Richard Gasquet. I'm sure the French crowd isn't thrilled about that, but Tommy Paul is happy to get through. Hi, Leon. Yeah, Gasquet did just blow 3 match points. He gets the W, though. Let's see. Sabalenka. Yeah, we're talking about Sabalenka in the comments here that I'm reading for you guys. And to be honest, you're fine to like whoever you like. But for me, Sabalenka is the only one who has really filled the void, made a semifinal each of the slams this year. Yeah, Sabalenka has been very impressive this season. Very, very impressive. As is Tommy Paul. Now we're looking on the screen right now. Tommy Paul, like I just said, comes back from a first set bagel to defeat Richard Gasquet. So hopefully after this commercial break, they usher us into WTA Cancun so we can get in on this Swiatek and Vondrousova match which seems like Swiatek is close to leveling up at 2-all. She has 2 break points on Vondrousova's serve to even us up at 2-all in the first set. So I'm looking at a commercial break, so let's look at some more comments. Geekify, I didn't even know Gasquet was still playing. Yeah, some commentary about some more WTA players. Before I switched over to men's really quickly, we were talking about Sabalenka, and I'm really impressed with Sabalenka's season. I mean, in a way, it seems like, not even in a way, in a weird way, she has kind of almost had an amazing season, but she still has had an amazing season. Finally winning a Grand Slam in Australia, getting to world #1. It's just that in some ways, the big moments, she's been halfway solid and halfway kind of dodgy. Like the French Open semi, the Wimbledon semi, and the US Open final were definitely a showcase of how off her game can be in tight moments, but she still made those semifinals and finals, and that's a accomplishment in of itself. So yeah, and she just completely smoked Sakari last night, 6-love, 6-1 in the second match of the WTA Finals. So she found time to smoke Sakari and also complain about the court conditions, which I feel like if you're going to complain, like Sabalenka has, that the WTA has not been efficient or elite or well organized for the WTA Finals, it's probably best to do it after a win. You know, you're fine to have your opinion either way, but I think it does land a bit better maybe if you complain about the conditions after a win compared to if you complain about them after a loss. I don't know. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong about that. Looks like Tennis Channel is going to be joining the match soon, and we're at 2-all in the first set. So we're back on serve. Swiatek has broken Vondrousova back. Sorry, I'm listening to Coco Vandaway's commentary at the Tennis Channel analyst desk before we get into the actual match. All right, Steve Wiseman sending us into the court. All right, yay! Finally, women's tennis is on my screen. I love to see it. Oh, maybe not a glorious way to start, but I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this graphic on my screen that says Swiatek has 3 double faults already in this match. 3 double faults in 4 games, when 2 of which she served. That's not great. That would explain why she got down the early break. And Vondrousova is making another opportunity to kind of get back up a break in this match. Swiatek is clearly not in love with the conditions just based off of score alone. But now that I have the match squarely on my eyes, I can see for myself how comfortable / uncomfortable she is. Mm. I can hear Lindsay Davenport in my ear talking about, just the players getting used to the conditions in Cancun, playing outside in a windy area. You have to remember, like, Cancun is off of the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, which is, yeah, that's in the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. This time of year, although it's not peak tropical depression or tropical storm season, there are some remnants, and like that, this part of the world just gets tropical weather, and to get that outside after really not playing in tropical weather for a couple of weeks, it's I'm sure it's an interesting transition. Considering Swiatek was just in Beijing earlier this month and won that title, I can see how it would be a little tricky to come to Cancun, Mexico, and keep that same level that she found in Beijing. So it'll be interesting. I have a sneaky suspicion, though, that Vondrousova could get out of her group. I don't know if it's a suspicion or if it's just me wanting to see chaos in the semis and in the WTA Finals. But I have a feeling that because the conditions are going to be so tricky to navigate for a lot of players, Vondrousova is not the player that you want to play under tricky conditions because she's already kind of tricky herself. She has drop shots, she has lobs, she has looping forehands. All of those things can throw off your timing if you're not really, really on it. So Sean Power agreed. No one cares after you've lost, even if it's a legit complaint. If you guys are listening and paying attention, there should be a message at the bottom of your screen that says 6 out of 10 viewers on YouTube are not subscribed. Please don't let that be you. If you're enjoying the content, if you have enjoyed Talking Tennis watch along videos and are a frequent stopper here on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. Just double check if you're not sure. Make sure you're subscribed and help us reach our goal of 5,000 because we want to make sure that everyone's talking tennis, right? It's a good sport to talk about. Lean Schmidt. I used to have a teacher in middle school whose last name was Schmidt, Miss Schmidt. I don't think you're the same Miss Schmidt, but she was an interesting character. I like how you think about Vondrousova getting to the semis. Yeah, it could be possible. She just broke Swiatek again to go up 3-2. So knock on wood. Knock on wood. My claim is picking up speed nicely. John, if you're listening, can I send you a tweet that I think would be interesting to talk about? I'm going to send it to you. It was just sent to me. Sending now. Oh, wow. That's very interesting. The tweet I just sent to John that he's putting on the screen here is allegedly something that happened before Elena Rybakina's match yesterday, which may have explained why she was out of sorts for most of it and didn't really look motivated. But somebody says allegedly. This is all alleged. Just in case anybody's like, oh my God, Talking Tennis said. No, this is allegedly what happened. Yesterday, Elena asked for a hitting partner for her practice before the match, but he didn't show up and her coach had to hit with her, which is not necessarily like the world's worst scenario, but you would hope that at the elite event for the WTA organization that they would have that available. Even though your coach, in my mind, your coach should not be too far away to hit with you. But I can imagine if your coach is not usually accustomed to that, how it would be kind of awkward, I don't know. It's really weird. John saying he would take a stab at being Elena's hitting partner. We're in this service game here of Vondrousova trying to back up the break she just got. And Swiatek looks a little flustered. She just put a backhand in the middle of the net, opening point, 15 love Vondrousova. Leanne Schmidt. I was definitely not your middle school teacher. If you guys are watching this match, how do you guys think of Marketa Vondrousova as a player? Like, how many matches of hers can you say you've comfortably watched? And if you've watched a couple, how would you describe her play? And do you like her tattoos? I'm interested. Oh, Swiatek came up to the net, tried to be more aggressive, and just bricked a volley. That's not where she is most comfortable in my mind at the net. So if you guys listen, if I'm being quiet, I can hear the commentary of Lindsay Davenport and Shanda Rubin in my ear. I have it low so that it's not the main thing that I hear, but I can hear it faintly. And they're two of my favorite commentators in the booth. So like hearing them kind of banter back and forth with each other is very interesting, especially because they played on the tour on the same time of each other. So if you're watching this, make sure to share this video with Shanda Rubin and Lindsay Davenport and let them know that I enjoy their commentary. Vondrousova has 3 game points to consolidate that break and go up 4-2. Swiatek looks all out of sorts. She just does. In this game is a perfect microcosm of that. She's bricked some volleys. She's missed some backhands in the net. She's kind of fidgeting with herself a little bit. And Vondrousova is doing her thing. She's looping some forehands into the backhand corner of Swiatek right now. Swiatek goes down the middle with the backhand. Oh, wow, and puts away the easy forehand. Okay. That was one of her better points that I've seen so far in the match. Can you guys really believe that Vondrousova is a Wimbledon champion? Wimbledon champion. That's I'm not sure which is more shocking. The fact that Rybakina won Wimbledon last year or that Vondrousova won Wimbledon this year. We'll see if those Wimbledon champions turn into like a Marion Bartoli, where it's their only Wimbledon championship and major, or if they turn into more of the Petra Kvitova lane, or they do it once again. I'm trying to think of who else is like a 1 or 2 time Wimbledon champion in the modern era. Muguruza is a 1-time Wimbledon champion, but that didn't seem like it came out of complete nowhere because she had gotten to the finals before in 2015. But Vondrousova didn't have many grass court wins, period, on her resume. So for her to leave Wimbledon as a champion holding the Venus Rosewater dish like she did in July is quite something. That's quite an achievement. Swiatek is making a mess of some mid-court balls. Love 15 in this service game at 2-4. Is it okay if I call you Maba? Like make Australia British again? Maba? Maba? I remember watching her play at the Olympics. I really wanted her to win the gold medal since she had made a slam final. She is really good when she's on. My issue with her is she's too streaky. She can be streaky. She definitely can be streaky for sure. And that Roland Garros final she made in 2019, losing to Ash Barty. I'm trying to think who she beat in the semifinals. Let's look that up. What was her route to that final? Roland Garros 2019. She's dangerously close with 3 break points to go up 5-2 on the reigning Roland Garros champion. I think this would be a pretty, I mean, it's the WTA Finals, right? So like these are all the best 8 players in the world. But I think Vondrousova beating Swiatek would be an upset, especially if she does it pretty handedly, you know? I think that would be an upset, especially considering the fact that Vondrousova has never beaten Swiatek. Who was I looking at? Yes, Roland Garros 2019 women's singles. Dun, 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 dun. She was in the 7th section of the draw, and she beat Wang Yifan in the first round. She beat Potapova in the second round, Carla Suarez Navarro in the third. She beat Sevastova in the 4th round, and she hadn't dropped a set at that point. So 4 rounds, no sets dropped. She gets to the quarterfinals, and she beats Petra Martic without dropping a set as well, and Johanna Konta. Yeah, that's not a splendiferous run to your first Grand Slam final in terms of beating marquee names. Suarez, Navarro, Sevastova have been some pretty solid top 20. I think Suarez Navarro snuck inside the top 10 at one point in her career. So Petra Martic has been a pretty solid top 40 player in her career. Johanna Konta had a season or two where she was in the top 10. Yeah, that's interesting. Johanna Konta as a semi is not too demanding. especially on clay. Especially on clay. The match was 7-5, 7-6, but yeah. Vondrousova still has one more break point here, I'm seeing, to get this 5-2 lead. Break point number 3 in this game. Up 5-2. Another backhand in the net. Yeah, Swiatek looks out of sorts. Double break for Vondrousova. She walks to the benches, looking comfortable, striding, and Swiatek is fidgeting, switching her rackets out, and doesn't seem like she's very comfortable in Cancun at the moment. Oh, you guys, Coco Gauff plays tonight. Just in case you didn't know. I'm watching this commercial and she's featured in it, and I'm like, sometimes it doesn't. If you guys haven't seen my video reacting to, oh, that's why. Oh, wow. So Tennis Channel. Sorry, this is news to me. Tennis Channel is putting together a road to Coco Gauff's U.S. Open title series on Tennis Channel. I think next week, I believe. So that'll be interesting. I didn't actually see when it's going to premiere, but it's a series they're doing. I'm sure they're just going to put all of her matches from round 1 to the final on a single day or something like that, or between 2 days. That's interesting. She plays Ons Jabeur tonight in her second WTA Finals. I think this is Ons Jabeur's second WTA Finals as well, because she qualified last year. Hey, Anastasia. Welcome into the chat. John, I'm just seeing the team looks ready for bed comment. What's the score over there? I'm at a commercial break, so Swiatek and Vondrousova isn't necessarily the most pressing news to my eyes right now. Oh, they're warming up. Got it. Okay. They're warming up. Got it. Okay. Speaking of Ons Jabeur, she was the Wimbledon finalist that Vondrousova actually beat to pick up her maiden Grand Slam title. It'll be interesting to see how Ons Jabeur looks and adjust to the Cancun weather later. Anastasia says, Marketa is fun. Love her quiet power. She seems so small, but hits very big. How tall is Marketa Vondrousova, according to Wikipedia? She's 5'8". Okay. Yeah, that's... I think 5'8" in women's standards is pretty tall, actually. But in like WTA tennis, that's pretty average. A lot of the women have been pushing 6 feet or further. Let's see if she can close out this first set, serving at 5-2. Nifty little drop shot there that Swiatek barely gets to. 15 all. OMG 17. I hope Iga plays like this when she plays Coco. I mean, as a Coco fan, it'll definitely be nice to see Coco get another win over Swiatek, but yeah. I don't wish bad play in the match, but I would be hoping for Coco to win that match when they play in the group stage in a couple of days. Vondrousova has such a loop on her forehand. Like the the production of her shot and the trajectory of her shot match very well. When I see her set up for a forehand, I would imagine that it would be pretty loopy and full of spin, and that's exactly how it looks on the television. And it's causing Swiatek some problems. She has 13 unforced errors so far officially in this match, only against 3 from Vondrousova. So yeah, either it's the conditions or Vondrousova's play that Swiatek is a little bit off tonight. Vondrousova with the lob that Swiatek puts away. 30 all in this game. Excuse me, sorry. 15-40. It's been a seesaw set in some ways, but Vondrousova has had the bulk of the momentum. So let's see if she can stop these break points. Second serve, Vondrousova down the tee. Up, and she nets the missing backhand, or she nets the next backhand. Break back for Swiatek. 3-5. All right, we're 38 minutes into this first set, and Swiatek is serving 3-5 after just breaking to stay in the set. And now she's going to serve to stay in the set. Let's see if she can do it. She's had a handful of double faults already in this match, more than a handful of unforced errors. Let's see what her serve can do this go around. Yeah, I think she's having some issues because she's caught a couple of tosses now that I've seen. She just caught another one, by the way. Serve out wide, +1 forehand that Vondrousova can't get. 15 love. Swiatek. Swiatek, by the way, is in a race for world number 1. John, you may have to refresh me in the comments about what the scenario is for Swiatek to leave here as world number 1. Do you have to win the event and beat Sabalenka, or I'm not sure what the actual equation is for her to leave world number 1, but I know it's a possibility. So she needs to go 1 or 2 better than Arena. Got it. Okay, cool. Oh, the scenario is being shown on my screen. If Sabalenka goes 1 and 2 in group stages, she needs to win the title. If Sabalenka goes 2 and 1, wins title with 2. Oh, this is confusing. What? If Sabalenka goes 3-0, win title undefeated. Interesting. I'm not good at math, people. It wasn't my strong suit in school. Let's see. If she wins the tournament and Arena goes out in the group, then Iga will be world number 1. Got it. Okay, gotcha. Okay. That's one way. If Arena doesn't even get to the semifinal stage and Swiatek wins the title, then Swiatek leads as world number 1. That's one for sure way. Got it. Vondrousova just slapped her forehand return winner. 30-15, Iga Swiatek serve. Second serve incoming. Oh, backhand. Thought that was out. Another nifty drop shot from Vondrousova that brings Swiatek in, but she can't get the ball over the net. 2 game points for Swiatek. Hmm. 40-15, 2 game points for Swiatek. First serve incoming. Oh, almost an ace down the tee. Just narrowly missed. Second serve. Oh, she's caught another ball toss here. She goes for it again. Oh, Vondrousova narrowly missed a backhand. Why can't I get my forehands and backhands together? She missed a backhand up the line. Return winner just narrowly. So game goes to Swiatek. Marketa's going to serve for it again at 5-4. Let's see what she can do. Do you guys that are watching in the comments, do you guys think this means anything if Vondrousova was able to take out Swiatek in this group stage? Do you think that kind of deters Swiatek from playing well, or you think it kind of ignites her to play better for the rest of the group stage? I always think it's interesting when a round robin format is introduced after a season long of playing losing you're out of here type tennis for the entire tournament, or for the entire season rather, and then you get to the round robin where you're playing the elite of the elite, and if you lose you still have to go back to your hotel room, practice, cool down, practice, and get ready for 2 more matches at the same venue where you just lost, and that doesn't happen often in tennis at all. So I think it's interesting to see who like deals with that mental juxtaposition, I guess, of playing tennis at a tournament that you technically just lost that, but you're still in the tournament, and you could technically still win the whole thing even though you've lost. That'll be interesting. Day 2 of action at the WTA Finals in Cancun. Vondrousova is serving for the first set again after getting broken at 5-2. Let's see what happens here. Swiatek seems to be getting her range again. She just hits a backhand down the line, love 15 here. That was one of the best points she's played in the match. It was very sharp. The backhand was really, really crisp, and she was moving her feet up to the ball very well. Things get interesting if she breaks here. 5-all, if you guys don't know, 5-all in a set is one of my favorite times to watch a tennis match. I think it's so interesting. 5-all is like the perfect spot to watch. And Vondrousova is dangerously close to getting there if she double faults. Love 30. And she's playing very quickly. She's not even trying to walk back to the corner. She's just going from ad court to deuced court, trying to finish her service motion. She's a little rattled here. Gets that first serve in and gets a weak return. It doesn't even come up the net from Swiatek, 15-30. Vondrousova has won 11 of the last 15. Excuse me. Swiatek has won 11 of the last 15 points. So it's definitely been a little bit of a momentum change. Oh, if you guys are watching right now, I love this court angle. Swiatek is pressing the issue and trying to come in more. Even though she's missed some volleys, it seems like she's dedicated to being the aggressor. And she just asked the question of Vondrousova, can you pass me? And Vondrousova didn't answer. So 15-40. 2 break points to go up to 5-all. First serve in for Vondrousova, cross-court rally, Vondrousova's forehand, just Swiatek's backhand, forehand to forehand rally. Swiatek has a backhand middle of the court. Vondrousova slices, try to pass. Swiatek gets the volley, swinging volley, but doesn't get put away. Wow, they're back to the back of the court. Wow, that was interesting. Swiatek should have won this point by now. And she wins it anyway with the backhand down the line, 5-all. Wow. That was the best point they've played all match. Well, gets interesting, people. 5-all. The reason I find 5-all interesting is because I've seen so many people either capitulate and lose the set 7-5, or really step up and win the set 7-5, or you get that really interesting dynamic where neither player really wants to lose that set and they go to a tiebreaker. Oh, I love it. Top tier tension. 5-all in a set is the best. Like Andy Murray today capitulated. I didn't watch any of that match. I just saw the match point, and Andy Murray did not look like a happy camper. Who could be after losing to the same guy 3 times in this season already, and losing to him again when you had opportunities to win? Yeah, that must sting. Leanne Schmidt said, good point about coming back to the same court after losing. It will be interesting to see how Sakari does against Rybakina tomorrow. Yeah, Sakari took a wallop against Sabalenka. So it'll be interesting to see how she comes back and plays. Is she playing Pegula or Rybakina tomorrow? I don't know. Let's see. Vondrousova was starting to slunk her shoulders a little bit. Even though she was up 5-2, the momentum has definitely switched to Swiatek, and Vondrousova looks very dejected. Sakari plays Rybakina first match tomorrow. Got it. Okay, cool. Oh, easy forehand miss from Swiatek. She kind of let her off the loose there. That was the first error we've seen in a while from Swiatek. 30-15. Andy Murray being a happy camper or not being a happy camper. 30-15, Swiatek serving. Second serve to come. Misses the first serve long into the body. She's so fidgety. It's so funny to me. Second serve. Vondrousova with the backhand down the line. Cross-court rally ensues. Swiatek's really jumping on anything short on that backhand side. And Vondrousova was just really not taking advantage of anything. She got a little lucky there. Swiatek got up to that drop shot, just didn't do the right thing with it with that backhand. 30-all here. Swiatek clearly annoyed with that last point. He should have put it away. She got up to that backhand in plenty of time. She just swung it out too far wide. It's so interesting because now if Swiatek loses this set, it'll feel like an opportunity missed, even though she was the far superior player. She has all the momentum now, so she needs to hold here if she wants to sneak out this set. $30-all second serve, 5-all first set. Vondrousova absolutely dumped that easy second serve into the net. She looked like she didn't even try. Wow. That was a terrible return, Vondrousova. She just dumped it. Maybe she didn't get the right grip on it. She tried to slice it with like a semi-Western grip. No, that was terrible. Awful, awful. Nigel said she walked into it. This 40-30 point is Vondrousova doing some scrambling. Swiatek trying to maintain the middle of the court and eventually gets the error. She's up 6-5. Wow. Interesting. from 2-5 down to 6-5 up. Nigel, that's a good point. Vondrousova is bailing out of some of these rallies, but Iga also hates being forced into the net. Okay, that's been clear. She's bricked a couple volleys. She's made missteps with approach shots. Those kind of approach shots where your opponent wants you to come in or bait you to come in. She's missed a couple of those, but still she's up 6-5. Vondrousova just did not capitalize on 2 opportunities to serve out the match. So she's frustrated, people. Frustration Central. How'd you guys' Monday been today? Is it Tuesday in some parts of the world? It might be, but my Monday is still going. And if you're looking for coverage on the second match of the evening in Cancun, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Tuned Into Tennis so that you can engage in our Twitter spaces while we talk through Coco Gauff versus Ons Jabeur later. Open format. Think of it as in your digital bar without leaving your home, talking about tennis. Vondrousova not even moving her feet. But still in this point somehow. Swiatek sets up a put-away forehand and misses it. Wow. Okay. John, you're showing... I didn't even realize that I made that Cancun picture before they finished the tournament stadium. I didn't realize that they made that I made that as my cover. That's funny. It is Cancun. Oh boy. WTA. Yeah, Vondrousova isn't necessarily moving her legs the best, but she's still up 30-love in this game to send it into a tiebreaker. A tiebreaker would really kind of set the tone for this match. It could be all over the place. Backhand down the line for Swiatek, sets up a put-away shot on the backhand, and she puts it away. I love when she leans into her backhand. I know the forehand is definitely the weapon in Swiatek's artillery, but the backhand is really not bad at all. It's so compact. The way she kind of rotates her shoulders and just, accelerates into it is really nice. When it's working, it's working. I like to see it. That's a good workout, John. Winning your tennis match, 6-1, 4-6, 6-2. It's a good effort. Second serve on Vondrousova. Swiatek nets a pretty standard return. So now we got 2 game points for Vondrousova to get into a tiebreak. Could this match be any more interesting? And if it's not interesting, there's definitely been a huge amount of momentum swings in just this less than an hour set already. Vondrousova gets the first serve in out wide. Swiatek can't handle it, and we are indeed going into a first set tiebreaker. Who do you think is going to win this first set, guys? Vondrousova or Swiatek? We are just 3 minutes shy of an hour, and it's been a topsy-turvy set. Swiatek is going to serve to get the tiebreak started, and I have no clue who's going to win. Opening point of the tiebreaker. Swiatek still playing a little bit around with her toss. She just catches another one. I've lost track of how many she's caught today. She gets the first serve in, though. Weak reply from Vondrousova, middle of the court backhand from Swiatek. Swiatek rushes into the net off of a backhand approach that wasn't nearly deep enough, and Vondrousova puts it back. Swiatek can't handle the volley, and Vondrousova leads 1-love. That was a really, really strange backhand to come in on from Swiatek. Yeah, her split step was a little bit weird to come into the net. First serve down the tee for Vondrousova, followed up by a sweet drop shot that Swiatek gets to, and Vondrousova passes up the line with the lefty forehand to love. I do really, really enjoy Vondrousova's drop shot. Instead of like a 1-2 combo where players kind of get a mid-court ball and go diagonally with a forehand or backhand, Vondrousova just completely kills all the pace and dinks over a drop shot either for a winner or a really, really awkward position she puts her opponent in. So I think that's tactical on her end. I love that. Second serve down the tee for Vondrousova. She just can't control the follow-up forehand, and it's 1-2. Swiatek serving now. Leslie Davenport is saying a very key thing about the conditions on the court is that there are very, very bouncy parts to the court, and then there's a couple of spots on the court where the ball doesn't bounce and it's kind of dead. So that'll be interesting to see if that like persists for the remainder of the tournament or how players can navigate through that. Nigel said the court is ghetto. Definitely less than ideal, that's for sure. I wouldn't be thrilled about playing in Cancun right now, but nonetheless, the WTA Finals are here. Is everything in the surrounding area of the tournament under a tent? Oh, gosh. It's on tents surrounding a golf course. Interesting. Oh, boy. We're officially at the hour mark of this match. 2-2 in the tiebreak. First serve down the tee from Swiatek. Middle court forehand. Vondrousova gets it on the backhand. Swiatek comes to that again and it forces an error from Vondrousova. It's like 50-50 when Swiatek comes up to the net, which I guess in some ways isn't a bad ratio, but sometimes she looks magnificent and sometimes she looks like she would rather be anywhere else than up in the forecourt. But that time she pressed Vondrousova and Vondrousova didn't come up with a good passing shot. 2-3, Vondrousova serving. Another just brilliant drop shot that she takes all the pace off of. Swiatek gets to but can't control, sends the backhand long, 3-all in the tiebreak. Yeah, she just completely drops underneath that ball for a drop shot and just completely kills any of the pace on the ball. That's so interesting. Ghosty. Hi, Ghosty. Welcome to have you in the chat. Swiatek holding up Vondrousova just a little bit here. Looks like she's applying some kind of antiperspirant or something to her hands because she's been sweating. And Vondrousova isn't necessarily a fan of it. Oh, wow. Thought that serve was going to be out. It wasn't. This is a big point here. And Vondrousova cannot handle the heat of that Swiatek forehand. 4-3. It takes me 14 syllables to say Swiatek. Properant. Properspirant. Ghosty's hilarious. Second serve, Swiatek. She's really taking her sweet time. 3-4 in the tiebreak. Looks like my score is a little bit behind. Oh, Vondrousova gives her an easy return miss. That's why. 5-3 Swiatek in this first set. A set that she should have not won if Vondrousova was clutch, but maybe clutch isn't Vondrousova's middle name. Does Swiatek get time warning sometimes? Or is this just all in my head? Because it does seem like she takes her sweet time sometimes. Not Rafa-esque, but in the vicinity of Rafa. Oh, she hits a sweet sliding first serve to go up 6-3. 3 set points in a set that she looked down and out for most of it. Nigel says she likes to take time on important points, hand up, 2 to 3 tosses. Yeah, I've noticed it just in this set, yeah. Which I guess if you need to reset, I guess it's fair game if you're doing it within the allotted time. Second serve incoming for Vondrousova. Out of the corner of my eye, I see what the score is, but I'm just going to watch it live. Oh, wow. She just completely gave that set to Swiatek. Double fault from Vondrousova. Gives Swiatek the first set. She walks to the change of ends into her racket bag, swaddles herself with her towel, and she's up a set in Cancun. John says, I don't like it when she puts her hand up when another person is serving. Yeah, she does have a way of doing that. I don't know if she would cop to it or not cop to it the way Justine Inna didn't cop to it some years ago. You know, she always looks like Justine Inna to me, just like facial wise, like head cap wise. There's definitely some Justine Inna similarities to her. Maybe not so in her game, but physically. I haven't come across to Damien doing a watch along in a while. My YouTube algorithm needs to change that. I have a feeling I know what curmudgeonliness. I completely am butchering that word, Ghosty. But I have a feeling I know what it means, but feel free to enlighten me. It's kind of grumpy. Okay. Yeah, I would have guessed that. Make Australia British again. Swiatek, the Justine Inna modern. I can see that. With how she's won 3 of the past 4 Roland Garros titles, yeah. Swiatek is modern Justine Inna-esque. 2020, 2022, and 2023, she's won the Roland Garros title. So, new word of the day. Curmudgeonliness. Curmudgeonliness? Curmudgeonliness. Grumpy, cranky. Got it. Okay. Can we name these players from the 1988 ATP Finals lineup? Let's see if I can zoom in. That's a good question, John. All right, let's see if I can do a math. I have my split screen here. See if I can do a really, really good zoom in. Zoom in. All right, there we go. I see holding the trophy is Yvonne Lindell. To the left of Yvonne Lindell is Andre Agassi. To the left of Andre Agassi is Boris Becker. All the way to the right on that first row, I'm pretty sure that's Mats Wilander. And Yeah, first row I have. First row I definitely have. The back row, you're gonna have to help me out, John. Okay, back row is Edberg. Where's Edberg? Okay, is Edberg all the way to the left, right above Boris Becker? Okay, I think that's Edberg. Let's see. Todd Martin is right next to Edberg, right above Andre Agassi. And Henry Leconte is to the left shoulder of Yvonne Lindell. Okay. Who's the tall guy in the black polo right above Mats Wielander? I have no idea who that guy is. He's really is it a Medvedev? No. Have no wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So one of these guys was an alternate? Ghosty. It could be a Medvedev from the 80s, because I know there was an Andre Medvedev, I think. Didn't Andre Medvedev beat, or no, was Andre Medvedev up 2-0 on Andre Agassi in the 1999 French Open men's final? I think that sounds about right. I have no idea who. Okay, I have an idea, John. What if the two guys that are right behind Andre Agassi, you can't see my mouse right now, but those two guys are wearing the exact same shirt and tie? What if those are members of the ATP and not even tennis players at all? Because what's the likelihood that they're wearing the exact same shirt and tie? I don't know. If you guys are wondering why we're playing Throwback ATP 80s Trivia, it's because Swiatek has left the court and Vondrousova is waiting for her to arrive back from a change of attire. If you've seen the court at Cancun, you would kind of piece together that there isn't a immediate changing area right next to the court. That's all I'll say. And if you don't know, Coco Gauff versus Ons Jabeur is following this match. So if Swiatek makes a Swifty second set, I know she's a Swifty. If she makes a quick second set out of it, then Coco and Ons Jabeur will be on the court right after. Ghosty, yeah. Andre Medvedev from the 90s had a great French Open final against Agassi 99. Yeah. Henry Leconte. I don't know too much about him, John. Did he ever make it to a Grand Slam final, Henry Leconte? His name sounds French. Henry Leconte, born July 4th, 1963, is a French former player. He reached the men's singles final at the French Open in 1988, before I was born or thought of. He won the French Open men's doubles title in 1984 and helped France win the Davis Cup in 1991. Leconte's career high singles ranking was world number 5. Okay. The more you know. Go ahead and play it, John. Feel free. Thumbs up. I have not seen that little video in quite a while. Thanks, John. I love the plug. If you guys aren't subscribed to Tuned Into Tennis, wherever you get to podcasts, feel free to do so. I'm also on YouTube myself under Tuned Into Tennis. That's correct. And I'm also on TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. The one, the only, Tuned Into Tennis, Miles David. That's me. Woo woo. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really corny sometimes, especially if you allow me to just be on a mic by myself. The corniness just comes out in exuberant amounts. Luckily, there's tennis, so I can talk you through that. Looks like we're in action on the second set, and Vondrousova is serving down love 30 already in the second set. I have a feeling that she may just kind of go away in this set, but we'll see. Sometimes she can play tricks on me. Yeah, love 40. Actually, Ghosty, I picked the song for that video. I don't remember where I got it from. I'm pretty sure it's like a no copyright song or something like that, but I thought it was pretty nifty. I do have to give some love to Cancun though. If this court were indoors, actually the idea of the WTA Finals at the end of the season being outdoor, I don't love that because it's historically been indoor. But I do like the colors of this court, and I feel like the colors of this court would translate well to an indoor event. I don't know. I like purple. That's one of the things I liked about the Miami Open when it was held at where was it held at? I'm searching. Where was the Miami Open for all those years? It wasn't at the Hard Rock Stadium. It was at Palm Beach Gardens. Let's Google, because now I have to know. Miami Open 2003. Key Biscayne. Thank you. That's the name of the city in Florida. Key Biscayne. That's what I liked about the Miami Open when it was in Key Biscayne, was the purple paint inside the lines and the green outside the lines. Yeah, really, really enjoyed that. Purple, I think it's something about the yellow ball not getting lost on the purple court, especially if there's a contrast of the color of the paint on the outside of the lines, if that makes any sense. Swiatek up a break early on in the set, 15 love on serve. Lost control of that forehand though, 15 all. I have an aesthetic question. Are you guys cool with the Iga Swiatek switch of apparel and shoes this year? Remember, she played Australia earlier this year in ASICS, and by the French Open, she was wearing On. I think she was still wearing the ASICS shoes when she won the French Open this year, but she's now transitioned into the On shoes that she's wearing here in Cancun. I'm interested what you guys think about Iga Swiatek and On running. And On running, if you don't know, is linked to Roger Federer. I think it's a Swiss brand that he's put some money behind and has marketed himself in the family of On as well. So it's Iga Swiatek so far and Ben Shelton on the ATP side, who have been rocking On apparel all year. Two game points for Swiatek to go up 2-love in the second set. Oh, that was out. Wow. She had a backhand down the line that she's measured pretty well, but just long. She had a pretty good look at it, too. Lindsay Davenport just said that I'm listening to what she's saying. She's saying that Swiatek, when she ultimately kind of looks back on this season, she'll be disappointed with it. I guess based off of the standard she set in 2022, winning 2 slams, ending the season world number 1, that's a pretty high bar. But I think I still reserve myself in thinking that any season where you won a Grand Slam should be considered a win. No matter if it was the same exact Grand Slam you won the year prior. I think you should even take more pride in the fact that you defended your Grand Slam championship from the previous season. And Swiatek has also won in addition to the Grand Slam at Roland Garros, she's won a 1,000 title in Beijing. She's won 2 500s in Doha and Stuttgart, and she's also won a 250 in her home country in Poland. Like, that's a great season. It's a great season, if you ask me. Hi, Nadeem. Thanks for joining. I think that 250 in Poland is now a 500. I'm pretty sure it was a 250 when she played it, but I don't know. Maybe it's being upgraded to a 500 for next season. I don't know. Yeah, Ghosty, winning 1 slam is awesome in a season. Like, you should never really hang your head about that. She's been number 1 for most of the season. She won a Grand Slam. She qualified for the year-ending championships. It doesn't compare to 2022, which I hope she doesn't always use 2022 as a litmus test as to how her tennis is going, because ultimately, any season where you have a 30-plus match win streak, that doesn't come around very often. Like, even the greats, Venus, Serena, I think Enin had a pretty long win streak. Sharapova had a pretty long win streak in 2006, I believe, that may have touched 20 matches or something like that. Like, those seasons typically are outliers instead of the norm. So hopefully when she sits down and she kind of sits with 2023, regardless of if she wins this title in Cancun at the WTA Finals or not, she needs to realize that this is a winning season that everyone in the top 200 would have killed for if they had it themselves, you know? So she's having some trouble closing out this game here, though. She looks like she's lost a little bit of the intensity she had to come back in that first set, but I'll keep an eye on it. I'm actually more interested in you guys' comments here. Ghosty agrees, winning 1 slam. Make Australia British again is asking if Venus should have won the Australian Open in her career. Yes. That's an interesting thought. I'm trying to think of the years outside of the finals that she made that I feel like she had a good chance to win it. She had a really good chance to win it. Speaking of win streaks, when Venus had her win streak in the 2000s between Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, she won like this. Between Wimbledon and just after the U.S. Open, actually, she won like 30-something matches in a row. 2001 Australian Open, she was the player to beat, and I think she lost in the semifinals to Hingis, like 1-1 or something like that. I'm not sure what happened in that match to have her lose so one-sided, but that was an opportunity missed for sure. Oh, okay, yeah. Disappointed that she never won the Australian Open because it's my home slam, all the winning quarterfinal match 2003. I'm happy with. Yeah, she won. Oh, she lost that. I remember Venus beginning 2015 making the quarterfinals of Australia, and at that moment, I kind of felt I didn't feel like she was back, but her making quarterfinal at the Australian Open back in 2015 was a huge deal because I don't think she had gotten to the quarterfinals of a major between 2015 and 2010. I don't think she had even gotten to the quarterfinals of a major. So that was a big deal. Ghosty, you're saying if I'm on Iga's team, however, it may be better to keep expectations high. I don't know. I'm 50-50 about that. I don't know. I think it's healthy to find positives even in some less than ideal situations. And I can see how she's been put in less than ideal situations a couple different times this season, but ultimately she's still come out on the winning end. I think she'll be disappointed in how she played in the two hard court majors, like losing to Rybakina in straight sets in Australia and losing to Ostapenko in 3 at the US Open was disappointing. But in the grand scheme of things, both of those players have shown to have the tools to really bother her. So I don't think those are terrible losses. I think her loss to Svitolina at Wimbledon may have had to do something a little bit more with just her not being at her best on grass, because she saved some match points against Belinda Bencic at Wimbledon too. So she's just, I don't think she's ever really found her streak at Wimbledon. John, what was that GIF I just saw? I feel like I saw a talking head. You can feel free to go back to it. Let's see. I can zoom in on it. Yannick Sinner has been playing some really good tennis. And the Carrata boys, the Carrot boys. Is Carrata how you say carrot in Italian? Is that correct? Okay. I like it. Yeah. I had a feeling that Swiatek was going to run away from this match, and she's up 3-love double break in the second set. Vondrousova just seems like she'd rather be anywhere else than trying to battle with Swiatek now. Do I know the Carrota boys? Carrata boys? Do I know them? I've seen them in some tournaments. I've seen niggas have like some orange wigs or something on to kind of mimic Yannick Sinner's redheadness. Yep. Oh, maybe it's not wigs. It's actual carrots. Okay. Interesting. That's funny. I am glad, since we're talking about Yannick Sinner. Yannick Sinner in the past, I would say since he made that semifinal of Wimbledon, goes to the U.S. North American Arts Wing, picks up a 1,000 in Toronto. He missed an opportunity to really capitalize on that, and I wanted to see another Yannick Sinner versus Alcaraz U.S. Open quarterfinal. Yannick Sinner deprived us of that this year. But after the U.S. Open, now winning 2 500s in Beijing and Vienna, beating Medvedev, where he had never beaten Medvedev before, I think that really puts him more firmly than he's ever been in the Carlos Alcaraz, Yannick Sinner, and I think Anastasia has put Holger Rune in like the baby 3 category. Holger Rune has not had a bad season either, but he could do, if he makes a semi or a final at a Grand Slam, I think that solidifies or goes a long way to solidify that we have a baby 3 on our hands if we can get Holger Rune into a semifinal or better at a slam. So that'll be interesting to see. Do you guys think that we have a baby 3 on the women's side with Swiatek, Sabalenka, and Rybakina? Even though Rybakina didn't win a slam this season, she was in the final of one. So I'm wondering, do we have a baby 3 on the women's side? Or is the baby 3 Swiatek, Coco, and Sabalenka? What sounds like a better baby 3 to you? Swiatek, Coco, Sabalenka, or Swiatek, Rybakina, Sabalenka? Oh, Swiatek just missed what would have been an amazing smash, but she put it in the net. Don't forget Krejcikova or John will cut your mic. Krejcikova has quietly had her best season since 2021, since she won the French Open. Yeah, she won a 1,000 and a 500, both on hard courts. Yeah, I think Coco, isn't it amazing? This is knock on wood. I'd love to see it happen. I really would love to see it happen, but Coco could still win another Grand Slam as a teenager. The French Open comes around just after her 20th birthday. So if she wins Australia, this is a big if, you know, she could have won 2 majors as a teenager, which is crazy to think about. You were on the Barbie train for first half of 2023. I don't think that was a bad train to be on, John. I really don't think so. I just think where's Krejcikova's ranking now? Look at that up. Krejcikova's number 10 in the world, and I think she's technically an alternate here at Monte Carlo. I think she's an alternate at Cancun because she's also playing doubles with her partner Katerina Siniakova in doubles at Cancun. So I think she's like just how Sakari was supposed to be an alternate for Muhova. If anybody cannot actually play their match, I think Krejcikova comes in for them at certain point in this tournament, if that happens. She's an alternate. Yeah, thanks for confirming that, John. I think it's so interesting if Krejcikova kind of bumps up the top 5 in the world. I mean, a top 5 with Swiatek, Sabalenka. Excuse me, let me put Sabalenka first. Sabalenka, Swiatek, Coco, Rybakina, and Krejcikova. It may not be the most star-studded lineup because I don't think Krejcikova and Rybakina will ever be, you know, global superstars in that way. Like, no, this is no disrespect to them, but I don't think they'll ever be like captivating superstars with like celebrity energy the same way that Coco and maybe Sabalenka have about them. That it's like kind of must-watch television. But at least to me, that's how my personal feeling is. But I do think it would be amazing to have 5 Grand Slam champions that have all won their slams in the past 3 seasons, all in the top 5. Sorry, Jessica Pegula. Jessica Pegula is currently top 5, but she hasn't even got to a semi yet. So, speaking of Pegula, though, the reason I was kind of rooting for Vondrousova, who's just getting completely wiped off the court right now, down love 4 in the second. She's barely even putting energy behind her serves, and she's just kind of out of here. I think it would be interesting if somebody like either Pegula, Sakari, or Ons Jabeur wins the WTA final, because I think it kind of encapsulates, how do I put this? I think it encapsulates what the WTA has been trying to build for the past season or 2, especially a season post Serena, where the best players in the world all have big titles. So if Pegula manages to kind of sneak in a WTA Finals win, if Ons Jabeur manages to sneak that in, or if Sakari manages to win that, especially after how she just lost 6-1 the other night, I think that sets up a tremendously interesting narrative for 2024. Because Swiatek, Sabalenka, Coco will all have been reigning champions, and then we would have and Vondrousova is a reigning champion too in the top 10. We'll have somebody that have won the WTA Finals. I agree. Make Australia British again. That Pegula is not the most entertaining player. I think Rybakina has her beat as far as boring, but yeah, I can't say I'm rooting against her for getting a big title. I mean, she keeps knocking on the door, you know? My nickname for her is put her in the quarters Pegula, because that's where you can always put her. 250, 500, 1,000 or Grand Slam. You can put her in the quarters at minimum and expect her to be there. Swiatek has 2 more break points, by the way, to go up 5-love in the second set. I almost thought it was double fault. Yikes. Yeah, Vondrousova was slicing forehands on the run, slicing backhands on the run, not really giving anything to Swiatek to work with. I'm surprised Swiatek missed that actual backhand just now. Wow. Okay. While Vondrousova is self-destructing, Ghosty says Sakari ain't happening. She's in a deep hole. I watched that Saba match yesterday. She was crying in her towel. It's a sad watch. I agree, Ghosty. I think the likelihood of Sakari winning this Cancun title is a far shot. But for the reasons I just said, I would like to see it. However, I thought Sakari's season was shot right after the U.S. Open, where she lost to Rebecca Masarova in the first round of the U.S. Open. I think she lost the first round in straight sets. Let's look that up. My friends at Tennis Abstract will be able to tell me everything I need to know. Maria Sakkari. Yes, that Maria Sakkari. So she lost the U.S. Open to Rebecca Masarova in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4. Since then, she went on to reach the quarterfinals of San Diego, which sounds good on paper, but she only had to win 1 match to get into that round. And she lost the match in the quarters to Emma Navarro, 7-6 the third, after bageling Emma Navarro in the second. Yeah, that's not good. But after leaving San Diego, she goes on to win Guadalajara and get to the semis and the quarters of Tokyo and Beijing. So she's actually had a pretty good September going into October, but that you would never know it. You would never know it watching that match against Sabalenka last night. You never know it. Nadeem is saying, I think Ons is a better 5th player in the world, but she has to win a slam. I would agree. Ons winning a Grand Slam in 2024 would be something I would love to see. Part of me feels like the more baggage you accrue getting to finals and not winning them kind of bogs you down. But the other part of me feels like you have such a wealth of experience knowing you can get that far, that getting that far again shouldn't be some kind of hurdle to come. You know you've done it. You can do it again. So hopefully she looks at it, and from that standpoint, if I was in Ons Jabeur's camp, I would look at it that way and say, hey, you know, yes, I missed my opportunities 3 times. Technically 2, because she was not the favorite against Swiatek at that U.S. Open to me. So technically look at it that way. She's missed 2 opportunities to be a Grand Slam champion, but she's also open. She's also been right at the door 3 times. There should be no reason why Ons can't put it together for another 2 weeks to get to the final of any of the 4 majors, really. Like, she's been to 2 Wimbledons, 2 U.S. Opens. I don't see why she can't make it work at a French or in Australia either. So, yeah, Ons Jabeur winning a slam in 2024 would be huge, huge. Swiatek just 3 points away from closing this match, by the way. Had just completely run away with the match in the second set, as I pretty much predicted. I don't know if I predicted a 6-love set, but I didn't think Vondrousova was going to put up most of a fight or much of a fight in the second set. Yeah, Ghosty. Back to Ons. I think the pressure is building, but hopefully somebody is in her corner and in her trying to spin it into a positive. Like, it's not like Ons Jabeur is just light years away from making such a momentous thing like a Tunisian North African woman winning a major title from happening. She's very, very close. She's still inside the top 10. She's, she's qualified for the year championships 2 years in a row now. Like, she's right on the precipice. She just has to either believe she can do it or come out with the right game plan on the right day. And I'm saying all of this because Ons Jabeur is the next matchup. She plays Coco Gauff. Swiatek has 3 match points to close out a comprehensive second set over Vondrousova after narrowly getting out of the first set. 3 match points for Iga Swiatek, world number 2 from Poland. I'll answer that question as soon as Swiatek wins this last point. Make Australia. Let's see if she can do it on the cue. And of course she doesn't. Forehand error. 40-15 Swiatek. Match point number 2. Serve out wide. Vondrousova dumps that backhand into the net. Swiatek gets it done in 2, 7, 6, 6 love. Another bagel in the Swiatek Corporation of Swiatek's Bakery. Are they a franchise now? Do they have multiple locations? She hands out bagels in multiple cities, so why not? Yeah, she gets ran away with that second set. Vondrousova didn't give her much to work with or put up much of a fight. 35-minute second set after a 64-minute first set kind of tells the story. Vondrousova walks off the court, towel around her neck, ready to get out of there, and Swiatek is now 1-0 in her group. She's the person to beat now. She really kept her composure when Vondrousova was kind of giving her a lot of angles and highs and lows to work with, but I think Vondrousova not serving out that first set at 5-2 and 5-4 really stuck with her because she only won one more game after serving for the match in 5-4. So, sorry, Vondrousova fans, you're eating bagels tonight. Okay, I said I would answer Make Australia's question. Most difficult slam to win, AO or the French Open? I think the AO has an interesting hurdle to cross in terms of, if you notice, right? Think back to like Magnet in the semis. Think back to a couple of years ago, the guy whose name I can't remember, so maybe it's not a good example to make a name out of him. John, you know, the guy that's from Britain, Kyle Edmund. Kyle Edmund made a semifinal at Australia. Magda Nettes made a semifinal in Australia. Victoria Azarenka making a semifinal this year as well. I think there's something to be said for the energy that a lot of players have at the beginning of the season, especially players that did not have wonderful ends to the previous season because they probably aren't competing in Asia or have chosen not to or have not qualified for the year-ending championships. I think that gives them a little bit of time to either rest or work on things. And sometimes that rest or what you've tweaked in the offseason really can come to bear quickly. Not always, but sometimes it can come to bear quickly at the beginning of the year. And you just kind of have this swell of confidence that comes on court. Think of Marcos Bagdatis' run to the Australian Open final all those years ago. Fernando Gonzalez, like those are players that kind of had that one moment in time. And I think a lot of it is because they either got rest from the previous season or they were able to actually work on things that manifested very quickly in their games to better success. So I think that's what makes the AO tricky. But I do think the French Open might be the most difficult to win simply because of the surface. Especially on the men's side, if things get grueling, they get extra grueling on the French side because of the clay. On the women's side, like this applies just in best of 3. It's a little bit easier, I guess, now because they've chosen to end at 7-6 and going to like the super deciding tiebreak, which I'm a fan of. but that does make it a little bit easier. So yeah, I think French Open gets the title for toughest to win just based off the surface. But AO is very tricky. Just go back and look to see who's made some semis and finals, or even quarterfinals over the years that have just really never done it again, really. I know that sounds kind of bad, but yeah, I think there's a period of, or a window of time for players that have put in the work on the off season to really benefit from it in Australia, which I think makes it an interesting watch. Now that I've said all that, I've worked myself up to be excited for Australia. Anyway, I've talked myself into preparing for Australia when we are still in Cancun. Let's see. Ghosty says AO has hotter weather too. FO French Open is harder for Americans. That's true. Make Australia. I don't think Vondrousova tanked. I just think that she got really, really frustrated after not closing out that set twice. And I've seen performances with Vondrousova before where she can get kind of sour. And I think she has the persona where she hasn't really worked out how to unsour her mood on the court. So it just kind of derails after that. She doesn't necessarily like throw her racket or, you know, start spitting at people like some of our favorite Australian men's ATP players do. She just kind of sulks, and she doesn't really work her way out of that really sour mood. And I guess you can call that tanking, but I've seen her do it before, which is why I was surprised that she won Wimbledon, even with some tough moments. So yeah, I don't think she tanked. She just got sulky. The Aussie men aren't that nice on the ATP. I think Alex de Minaur is a nice Aussie guy. He had a win earlier over Andy Murray. But if you're just joining, or if you have been watching the entire time, I really do thank you guys for spending about 2 hours with me, which I appreciate. Sometimes this goes by really quickly. I didn't think I'd been sitting here for almost 2 hours. Thank you guys for watching Talking Tennis. I'm going to sign out from here. I'm going to be going to Twitter, or X, affectionately known as Twitter, to do a Twitter Spaces during the duration of Coco Gauff versus Ons Jabeur. Feel free to follow me over there at Tuned Into Tennis, or type in Miles David, me, on Twitter, and you should find me there. And yeah, that's the picture. That's my profile picture, followed by the wonderful capture of Cancun. All right, guys, stay tuned for more coverage from me for the rest of the week at the WTA Finals. I think this time slot works well for me, and I enjoy watching that first match of the day. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thanks for chatting in the chat feature, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hope to see you on Twitter, or Zwitter with an X. All right, guys, I'm signing out. Take care. Talk to you soon. Thanks for joining in, and be well. Bye, guys.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
That's what I'm talking about. Coco Gauff, a U.S. Open champion. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Look at her. Look at her. Oh. Oh.
Get up, Coco Gauff. You just won the U.S. Open.
There was some Australian Open final vibes for me today, and I was looking at a couple of comparisons. Australia was 2 hours 28 minutes, today was 2:26. I'm sure you weren't aware of that. But I tell you, 4 championship points, does that sound familiar? And were you thinking of it during that last game?
Actually, yes, I was thinking when I was down with the break in the last game, I was thinking, okay, I did it at the Australia Open, so probably I'll be able to get this win this time again, and it's actually helped me to stay focused and to have this belief in myself. And yeah, definitely this match reminds a lot of Australia Open match.
Forehand, backhand from Sabalenka, forehand to the backhand of Sabalenka, drop shot into the net, 30 love.
How many points is that?
2.
2 to go.
2 points from history to become the 3rd teenager to win a
drop
US
shot
victory.
just looked like, you know, I'm not saying she's given up. I will never say that about a professional sports person, but you know, that one just looked a very half-hearted drop shot.
He's trying something. Monster return from Sabalenka, though. Gauff's reply just lands in. Sabalenka moonballs it, just try and pick it up. Backhand from Sabalenka to the Gauff backhand, short. Forehand from Sabalenka to the forehand of Gauff. Sabalenka on the attack with the forehand. Gauff still picking it up, moonballs it, short. Sabalenka goes for it on the backhand. It's shoulder height. She pushes it wide, and it's 40 love. And Gauff has 3 championship points. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Ladies, gentlemen, whoever you are, Gauff.
It'll take a moment. This will be about 5 minutes before they calm down.
Here we go. She's bouncing the ball. She's ready for this championship point. Goes up the middle. Sabalenka drops it in. Backhand Gauff to the backhand of Sabalenka, cross court. Backhand Gauff. Backhand Sabalenka up the line. Moving Gauff around. Gauff scoops up the forehand. Backhand from Sabalenka. She's coming in. Takes the volley. Gauff goes for the passing shot. She's done it!
That's what I'm talking about. Coco Gauff, a U.S. Open champion. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Look at her. Look at her. Oh. Oh.
Get up, Coco Gauff. You just won the US Open.
Inshallah, have on chauffeur. I don't know, shisha.
Ready? Play.
And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually, sometimes you don't.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. If there's one match from Rafa's story where you think that was a missed opportunity, there was a big chance there
have matches,
two.
2 or 3 in Australian Open. No more. We lose the opportunity in Wimbledon against Djokovic in semi-final.
2018.
Then we lose the opportunity more important because that was semi-final. We lose the opportunity in Australian Open. In the Australian Open 2014, 2012 and 2017.
Yeah.
In 14 because he has an injury against Wawrinka that before he had never lose against him. Then with Djokovic and Federer, he had breakup in the fifth.
Yeah.
And 40-30 or 30-50. I don't remember well. It was a ball very close, goes up. But this is what happened. There was in Roland Garros 2009. Of course, he I am sure that he won. He will win. He won this tournament when he has no problems in his knee, because at this moment he was the best. He won Australian Open, then he won the tournaments on clay, and he arrived with problems in Roland Garros. For this reason, in my opinion, he loses. But there are others time that maybe he has to lose and he won.
sometimes you don't actually. Sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. And this is normal flat. So see, sometimes you don't actually. Sometimes you don't.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. There were some Australian Open final vibes for me today, and I was looking at a couple of comparisons. Australia was 2 hours 28 minutes, today was 2:26. I'm sure you weren't aware of that. But I tell you, 4 championship points, does that sound familiar? And were you thinking of it during that last game?
Actually, yes, I was thinking when I was down with the break in the last game, I was thinking, okay, I did it at the Australia Open, so probably I'll be able to get this win this time again, and it's actually helped me to stay focused and to have this belief in myself. And yeah, definitely this match reminds a lot of Australia Open match.
Play.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things